Riot Minds presents an award-winning role-playing game. Trudvang Chronicles. There are many tales and sagas about Trudvang. Many songs about the fallen heroes. Based on the Norse and Celtic myths and legends, Riot Minds present a world of endless adventures. Draw your sword, call upon the gods, weave your magic.
All right, finally we're done. Okay, welcome to the stream. Sorry about the delay. I had some technical difficulties here, but now we're all here. So let's do like we always do. Let's start with some short introductions and then summarize what happened last time, and then let's get going. So I'm Patrick, or Rekishi, from Sweden. I'm the GM, and this is our first veteran group. We just had a stream for about 3 hours with group number 2, the new group, earlier today. So check that out if you haven't already. And this is session 5 already. Huh? So that's pretty good. Good work. Okay, so Alpakka, who are you? What are you doing?
Yeah, I am Alpakka, and Arne's here, and Waldhelm. Waldhelm as the character in the game, and Arne's here as the moderator in the chat.
Right.
So I just want to turn off the sound on the stream. I mean, I don't like hearing myself dull, but yeah.
We don't like hearing you either. So.
Oh, okay, I know. I'm just gonna turn off my sound completely. I'm gonna write instead. But yeah, I am a rogue with some Vitner weaves. I like to hang out in the shadows. It seems like it.
So you kind of you wanted to make a kind of like an arcane trickster type of character.
Yeah, right? Arcane trickster is the main point. I'm creating my character.
Right. Cool. Okay. Siggy.
Hi, I'm Siggy. I'm from New York, and I'm playing Val Raven and her uncle Dagger. Val is a dim walker of the Gerbanus religion, and yeah.
Right. Nirnie then.
Yes. Hello, I'm Nirnie from Norrköping in Sweden. I'm playing the little dwarf Greld, Fairhair. A kind-hearted and a bit of a coward. Mostly up here to gather the information about the human lives and mysteries of Trudvang.
Right. And Elendil?
All right. My name is Elendil. I live in Abilene, Texas. I am playing Vestine. He is a half gray troll, half human. He is all warrior, no Vitner, no dim walker. And that's pretty much it. He's the unfortunately, I have to say, the big kind of dumb guy.
Right. And then we have Flynn.
Hey, I'm Flynn. Today I'm playing Licklig Ulvi Dwarvenson, who is mostly a dweller with a lot of warrior training. He's the adopted son of a dwarven couple that we don't know why they're no longer up in the mountains, or why he was excommunicated, if you will, but it's not for cowardice or any ill doings. But he was asked to leave, a little bit like Worf from Star Trek. He took the path that would be best for the clan. And Licklig suffers from a severe case of albinoism. He looks a lot like Prince Nuada, or the Uber Morlock from the newest movie of Time by Jules, Time Travel. Time Machine. And he is a warrior and a blacksmith, or a dweller, if you will.
Right, cool.
And if you've read it, he does look like Elric of Melnibone.
That's how that's pronounced, Melnibone?
Yeah, I had an English major tell me that. It was pronounced Melnibone.
That is the dumbest word. I just call it Melnibone. Sounds so much better.
What?
Yeah, that's what I always call it.
Was it a British English teacher or an American English teacher?
It was an American.
Okay.
Okay, now he may have learned it from a British, but what the guy told me was how it was pronounced.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I was just curious. Sometimes there's differences with
yes, there is
on pronunciations.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So what is this thing you're talking about?
There's an author, British author named Michael Moorcock. He wrote a lot of science fiction and stuff. 60s, 70s, and even today, he's still alive. One of his major characters was kind of an anti-Conan character, a real effete, sophisticated guy from a dying empire. He was the prince of the dying empire. He was an albino, real weak strength, real weak constitution, and he would use drugs to kind of help him get up to normal strength until he finds the magic sword Stormbringer, which eats souls and transfers that power to him.
All right, that sounds horrible.
The vampire swords from Dungeons and Dragons, that's where they got the idea from.
All right. Oh, you got a picture there, Brian, huh? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, if you look like that, if Licklig looks like that, he's quite scary.
I gonna hide.
Should I put it at -2?
His fear.
Should I put that character trait at -2?
Maybe he
Got a
can give you
-1?
maybe he can give you 1d4 of fear factor or something at some point here.
I like it.
That'd be cool.
Speaking of fear factors, we had fear last time.
Mm-hmm.
Is that gone now?
You get, I think it takes 10 rounds, combat rounds, for you to lose 1d10 worth of fear. Let's see here. Okay, 12 action rounds, you lose 1d10, and after 1 hour after that, you lose another 1d10. So you can all pretty much just roll a d10 and see how many fear points you have. You just remove it on your sheet. I will trust you. And we still haven't heard from Brian. So who are you, Brian?
Brian Bird, retired Air Force, originally from New York, live in San Antonio, Texas right now. I am playing Joran Ravenhold. He's the son of one son out of a bunch of brothers of the Ravenhold clan who maintains lands for the Jarl. And that's he's a walker with a little bit of ranger to please his father and his Stormlander heritage. But he's also a Difer, a half elf, half Stormlander, half elf.
Right. Okay. So that's awesome. So actually, talking about your castle, Ravenhold Castle, and stuff like that. The last week or so since last time, I actually added a lot of information to the map that I'm making on the World Anvil. So if you guys want to take a look at that, it's down below here. A link to that. And I add a lot of information about the Copper Woods, like the Iron Moors, the Jotunheim. I added some more information about Brian's family and stuff like that. So if you have any interest in looking, it's kind of like out of character knowledge, but you can take a look there. I'm just continuously upgrading it and adding to it now.
Where's that at? Is that on Discord?
Yeah, it's in Discord as well, in the pin messages, the World Anvil one, or in the schedule channel. If you scroll up a little bit, it should be there as well. Or if you're on the Twitch channel, it's below the Twitch channel in one of those panels there, the World Anvil one. I sent a few links last week or so, because I haven't had any classes for this week, so I've been just nerding myself down in that. It's been quite a lot of fun, just adding to it and stuff, and I'm gonna start fleshing out more characters and stuff now as well. So yeah, take a look at that if you have any interest in that. And there's also information from the Swedish books about Trudvang that I've been translating to English and adding there. Right now I'm working on the dwarves book. That's why I was talking a little bit about the dwarves here just now. So about the dwarves, that might be interesting that I decided, especially for, we have Lycklig is the adopted son of dwarves, and then we have Greld, who is an actual dwarf. So I can just tell you quickly again. So what I decided is that the dwarves are very superstitious, right? So they don't really like to give their real name to anybody outside of their brotherhood. So they have like a nickname that they use. So for example, Greld is Nirnie's character's nickname. That's not his actual name. The dwarves can have a last name, but that's usually like an honorary name that they added. Like Greld's last name is Fairhair, right? Because you always care about your hair all the time. So that's something that your brothers could give you or something like that. But actually, right. So it has something to do with what you have done before or something like that, right? But the actual family connected name is the last part of your first name. So Nirnie, what's your character's real name?
Dvorgel.
Gil. So Gil would be the family connection. Like all of his brothers would have this last part of their name as well. So the first part of their first name is their actual name, and then the last part is kind of like the family suffix or whatever you call it, right? So that's also how it's going to work with if you ever meet dwarves in the campaign and stuff. They're probably going to give you their nickname. So that's also why I asked you, Flynn, if your father and mother ever told you their real names or their clan or their...
Oh, I thought you meant just the family last name. Yeah. No, right now I'm sticking with the, they took names for their excommunication, and that's the only thing I know them by. They're not supposed to, for whatever reason. I never wrote it up. Maybe you can use it in the storyline later.
Right.
I never wrote up what their actual name is or what clan I'm even from or what they're from.
Right.
So maybe it'll become part of a story plot later. I don't know.
Right.
That's horrible.
And no, but that's just how dwarves think. They just don't like to share that. And also maybe they thought that it could put Lycklig in trouble in the future if you know their names. So that's fine. That's totally fine. But another thing that's quite weird with Lycklig's adoptive family is that the dwarven female is there. The dwarven female is usually considered quite mystical, right? And they live deep down in the mountains, and they're not really married in that sense that they're married to somebody, and they're quite few. They kind of they're just baby making machines pretty much down in the bottom. And then these babies will grow up and be with their mothers for about 15 years, and then they will make the trip up to the dwellings of the dwarves, and there they will shout out their name, and their brothers that came before them will come and take care of them. And that's how they form the brotherhoods in the dwarves. So the fact that Lycklig's mother is with the father up there, something extraordinary must have happened for them to do that, right? Or for her to run away.
Might be the reason.
Yeah, might be the reason. So just a little bit of information about the dwarves could be interesting, I guess, since I've been working on this all week and translating stuff, and my head is totally into dwarves right now. So who wants to summarize what happened last time? Volunteers?
I could probably do it if people fill in if I forget something. So we were in the forest, and I think we began with a fight against a big grey troll and a little forest troll.
Mm-hmm. Why were you fighting them?
We did fight them because we thought that they were barbecuing Sula, the little girl from Manges.
Right.
Which wasn't the case. They had found a goblin or something like that and fried it up.
Right.
And
Nirnie, I am getting an echo from you.
Oh, that should not be the case. I think I can fix that.
I think we had this problem last time too, right?
I'm getting an echo from me.
Or from yourself?
Yeah, everybody that speaks is...
Mute. If you have the Twitch stream open, mute it.
I don't have the Twitch stream open.
Because now I can hear someone more.
I don't think it's on your side, Nirnie. I think it's on Elendil's side because I don't hear any echoes.
Okay, that's good to know at least. So
Stream open, mute it.
yes.
It started out with you guys in combat already. You're fighting the great troll and the little forest troll, and the great troll was wielding his massive two-handed sword, and it was on the two-handed sword. He was using that as like a spit, I guess, for the fire.
A big club.
Yeah, so he had this goblin half roasted on the sword while he was fighting. That was quite funny. What happened then? You defeated them.
We defeated him. Val tried to loot him and got infected with some ogre plague.
Right. Got that.
Great troll, not ogre.
He was a great troll. That was from the great troll you got that. So did you write down how long it would last and stuff?
Yeah. I think I have all the information. It's like I have 6 boils, and each day 1d3 of them pop.
And how much damage do you get?
1d3 damage each.
Right. So it's not the end of the world, but it's not nice. But in the end you managed to loot them with the help of your uncle, who seemed to be immune to that.
Yeah.
And what happened after the fight?
We burned the body and then decided to go on a little further to make a camp.
Because it stunk.
Yeah.
Right, and you didn't really find a good camping spot, right? You failed your camping rolls, and you kind of just camped next to the road. And I was a little bit lazy and used the same battle map for the second combat that ensued, when one of you managed to get an 11 or 12 on your random encounter roll.
Yeah, I got the 11, I think.
Right, and another 4 forest trolls came in the night trying to snack on your ankles or something. And I guess we just finished with you guys just defeating them, right? So we actually had 2 combats last time.
Yeah,
And-
they ran away, I thought. I think
Oh yeah,
we
maybe.
killed the
Yeah,
leader
okay,
and-
yeah. I think you killed one of them at least.
Yeah, I killed the one.
One of them got away.
Right. So I mean, if somebody was confused last time and thought that we were just doing one massive combat the whole 3 hours, that wasn't the case. We just reused the battle map for the second combat as well, because I didn't really plan for that so well. Anything else that happened that is worth mentioning?
Oh, I think that was it. I think we got a day or so left. No,
We managed to loot 19.
We're still looking for Sola.
Yeah.
that,
So we managed to loot 19 silver and 19 copper from the first group. We haven't looted the second group yet.
Right. So how many do we actually have left here?
I know one of them is dead. This other one I think we may have killed. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, this guy's dead too. I'm
the
pretty
rest
sure.
run off. And so I think there's only 2 dead.
My memory is we got attacked by 4. We actually ended up killing 3. 1 guy got away.
I see the 2. I think 2 guys got away, right? Because they're down here.
Or did someone shoot one of them with an arrow and knock them down?
Well, I don't think so.
I don't know. What I
Oh, this
Yeah, I
one.
think 2 got away.
Yeah, that's what happens. Let's say
I
that.
remember, I think Brian got hurt.
Got what?
Did anybody get hurt? I mean,
Or they
got
jumped
hurt a
you
little
at
bit.
least.
No, it's all.
He actually didn't get hurt in that, I don't think, did he?
Yeah, I didn't get hurt in that battle at all.
Yeah.
Dagger got hurt in that battle.
Yeah, he got
Oh,
with one of them jumping up on his shoulders, right?
Yeah, and Val accidentally
That was the
stabbed him too.
first battle.
Yeah, the
that
first
happened in the
battle-
That was the one I skewered through like Vlad.
Right. So let's you guys wanna see what they have on them, these 2 forest trolls?
Yeah.
So the guy that jumped up on Dagger, he had a short sword and a small shield. Both are in poor quality. So if anybody wants a short sword in poor quality or a shield in poor quality, a small shield in poor quality, please write it up on the sheet. And you should be able to just find it in the automatic sheet there, right? Let's see.
Guys, can we just burn these fucking goblins? I don't want to see them anymore.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
remember
I remember that last time too. When you said that in the end, and when the last one was dying,
Fucking
you said,
goblins.
"We're not fucking goblins, we're forest trolls."
Yeah, and then you slit his throat. Right? That's like, fucking goblins.
Right. The short sword is called a glaive. So if you want to find it in the list, it's called a glaive. So who wants to take the short sword?
Let me see how the glaive looks like.
If no one's taking this equipment and whatnot, I'm gonna have Dagger be the pack mule because he doesn't really have his he's currently holding on to the party fund since Val does all the managing of the money.
Right.
Okay.
So you can just write down a poor quality glaive and a poor quality small shield, and you can decide later if you want to who wants to take it. Let's see.
Put it on his arm.
Huh, Flynn? What did you say?
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing.
The big guy there, he also has some of these kind of spheric. You found like a few blue spheres last time, right? If my memory serves me.
First battle.
Right. So he has some of those a little bit smaller, but they're orange. So there is let's see here. There is 2 of those. He also have.
I'm assuming Vestine's holding on to all the beads.
Yeah,
Right?
I like his beads.
I can.
There's also 13 copper worth of copper on the big.
Okay, I'll add that to the divide up later.
Yeah. The small one, he has a hunting bow on his back, in normal quality, and a poor quality axe. And he has 5 copper on him. That's all. Other than that, it's not really anything.
I'll
of
be right back,
value.
guys. I got to step away for a quick minute.
Yep, sure. Nothing really of value other than that.
Hunting bow, is that a Vedi bogey?
Yeah,
that's a Vedi boogie.
And that's normal quality, okay.
I got the same.
Does he have any arrows or anything?
Yeah.
Are arrows a thing in Trudvang? I haven't looked into the
I haven't really been keeping track of it, but let's say there's like 10 arrows.
Okay, I guess our ranger can have the arrows.
We should keep track of it, I think.
I would like to have the arrows.
What quality are the arrows?
It's normal quality. I don't think I'm gonna put a quality on arrows. It's just gonna be arrows, and then maybe we can find some kind of special arrows at some point. If we want to.
Are we going to worry actually about size? Because I suspect that Waldhelm uses a longer arrow than this little goblin would.
Probably. Yeah. I think we're gonna just not worry about that.
Okay, that's fine.
Enough to worry about in this game anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna keep the arrows abstract, I think.
Yeah. Easier.
Invalid. I write it into the sheet and it's sending invalid. My arrow is valid.
I mean, it's not in the book, so it's gonna show up invalid.
Right. So yeah, that's that. That's the forest trolls for you. For the rest of the night, everything is very nice and calm, and nothing happens. And you guys wake up in the morning, and you feel like you got a nice rest and everything. Wasn't the best camp, but you survived. It was fine.
Okay, time to roll 1d3.
All right.
That's 1. Okay.
And then another 1d3 then.
Yeah. That's 2. I take 2 damage.
All right. And now it's the 12th.
So.
And also don't forget to heal and stuff.
I try and make breakfast for everyone, and I roll a 20.
Oh.
Okay. I'm guessing everybody ate of that.
No
breakfast.
firewood.
So I don't know what I mean. If it is it obviously like terribly.
Let's everybody roll a perception. A perception roll. So you take a 10 plus minus your perception, and then you roll under that with d20. So take a 10 and then add or subtract your perception, and then roll with a d20 underneath that. You can all do that.
Perception.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, good.
Wow. Is that right?
Yes.
I think so.
Success.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a success.
Don't not that way, Nirnie. You take 10, and then you plus or minus on the 10, and then underneath that number. So you need to, if you have -1, you need to roll under 9.
Is your chat open?
Chat? What's up?
I was talking to Greg.
Hopefully not.
On the bottom of the screen that we're talking on, you'll see chat down at the bottom. If you hit it, it'll open up on the left, right side.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Okay, so a D10 instead of a D20.
No, a D20. But when you do a situation roll, I give you a number that's the base number.
Okay.
Like 10. And then you add or subtract your, for example, this time perception. So if your perception is -1, you need to roll under a 9.
Okay.
A D20. But you already rolled, and you rolled a
6. 7. I rolled -1, so 6.
Right. And the rest of you can roll as well.
Is it supposed to look like that?
No.
Oh wait, sorry.
No, not at all.
The game, I pressed with that too, but it's disappeared. The one button pressing this, but that is disappearing in game. If you look at chat in the Zoom group. I was actually writing.
I'm not looking at the Zoom group. If you write something in the Zoom group to me, you need to tell me.
What's the situation value?
So it's 10 plus minus perception. Okay, and then that number, you do a 1d20 under that number.
Okay, I got a 4, which is less than a 12.
So you managed to notice that something is wrong with it. And
I got 1.
If you fail this, you're gonna take some poison damage.
Okay, do they get a plus because I'm gonna smell it and?
Well, you got a 20. You're not gonna give them any pluses.
Oh no. Okay. All right. I got a 20 on my cooking roll. I got a 6 on my perception roll.
Yeah, so you don't eat it because you noticed before it happens, but the other people might not have noticed in time.
Okay.
So if you fail the roll, you take 1d4 damage because somebody managed to put some black heather into the mix.
Ooh.
Well, it looked like it tastes good.
So did anybody fail?
What are we rolling?
You roll a d20, and you need to roll under 10 plus minus your perception.
$11. Just missed it.
So you can roll a d4 then for damage. What about Flynn and the rest? Flynn?
Can you have to make like a con save versus?
I rolled way under. I'm good.
Okay, cool.
Does
everybody
Nick
else
make a con save against Black Heather or whatever you said was in it?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. Huh? That would make sense, I guess. Do a concentration save as well. So the Black Heather.
Could have easily have spilled it too.
I mean, I'm just saying black. I mean, the Black Heather doesn't actually do damage. It's just when you guys mix it in this way, it kind of hurts your tummy a little bit. So yeah, let's just do that one. Okay, so you eat this crappy breakfast that Vistain prepared. Jorin kind of clutches his stomach. Valraven has one of her crap pop and hurt her, and it's a great morning all around.
So for us that succeeded with the dice roll, it's like is it that we smell it or we taste it and just pour it out, or
if you notice in some way before you eat it that it's something wrong with it, you don't eat it. Well, you can still eat it if you want to.
I just look at the food. Just gave something to the dead goblin and just looking at it going burning.
Yeah, I'm not very hungry this morning.
You don't want to make the stain feel bad, right? So you're still telling
Yeah.
it looks good.
Oh no, I'm not hungry.
All right. So do you have anything you want to prepare in the morning, or are you guys just leaving as soon as you can?
I think I'm gonna eat some of my rations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you don't eat the breakfast there, you can just take one of the rations.
Yeah.
Secretly taking one of the rations instead.
Yep.
But what's let's see, one ration. There we go. And when you're eating the ration, is there any bonuses for that, or?
The bonus is you're not starving.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you look to the right of the gold and copper and rations section, there's this whole days of fat food where you can track your rations and it'll sum it up and tell you if you're alive or not.
Yeah, it's not saying any days or anything.
Well, yeah, if you go 1 day without food, you put a 1 in the none column, and then you get a -2 modifier.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nirnie?
How many rations did we have?
I think we had 9 each, right?
I had 5.
Yeah, I gave everybody 5 in the bare field.
I think I already had some, or we found some.
You got a few. You got like 3 when you left Yuka's Hearth for the road. That took 2 days, so you had 1 left from there, and then you got 5 extra from Bearfield to cover the trip to find.
Right.
Yeah, so I actually still have 5 then. So I just actually had 6, but
yeah,
didn't notice. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess you have 5 left now then. I mean, and that's something you have to think about at some point if this drags out in time, you know. You might have to start hunting and stuff to have food. I think Vestain tried to do that last night, but he failed miserably. So yeah. Okay, so that's the night and the morning. Does anybody else want to do something in the morning? Flynn, Brian? I hear myself double now, by the way. Is somebody listening to the stream or something?
Are you like referring to take a bath, dump, take a leak? Are you talking about bodily functions and putting on armor, or what?
I'm expecting you guys put on your armor and everything like that. But if it's something specific, like maybe you want to prepare for your, like if you want to gaze at the stars to get some Dimwalker points, or if you want to do some animal training or something like that. I mean, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
But it's not anything like basic stuff. All right, so you finish up your morning. Most of you managed to not eat the crappy stew that Vestain made, and you continue tracking. So let's do a tracking roll again.
Yep.
Okay, time out. Brian, what's up?
Hold up, good time out.
This happens every time. We are in Roll20. We are in Zoom. People need to turn everything off in Roll20 and in Discord and focus on Zoom because we have echoes all around.
Is somebody maybe that's why there's an echo, huh? Because I'm hearing an echo as well. I think maybe it's Elendil's mic or something.
Yeah, just close out Discord unless messages are being sent. But
yeah, I'm muted on Discord.
Also, there's a TV on.
It happens every time.
So one thing we can do to fix that as well is to maybe mute ourselves when we're not talking. If you know that you have a noisy environment around you, maybe you should mute yourself and just remember to turn it on again. For example, Nirnie's girlfriend is watching TV, for example, behind there. Maybe you can mute yourself. Yeah, just so everybody has a good time. So how's the sound right now, Brian?
Good. Everything is not echoed. We're perfectly fine. We just need to be vigilant of that and be knowledgeable and just detracts from moving things forward. That's all.
Fair enough.
But yeah, in game, of course, dim walking to get some points. Of course, looking at the stars.
How much time do you need to spend to do that?
Oh, you would have to ask. Siggy, how much time do I need to spend?
I'm looking at it now.
I think it's not that long. I think it's like an hour.
Oh yeah, an hour you get 1 point. 4 hours you get 3. And then they get modified by stargazing conditions, like such as how starry it is,
and stuff,
and what phase the moon is.
I guess there's something you would have done in the evening then, right?
Yeah. Well, whenever I'm on watch, I'll take like an hour near the end.
Yeah, we can just. So
for the DM's sake, it's on page 236 of the player's handbook.
236.
Yes.
Let's take a look. 236.
So I can't believe there's that many pages.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I mean, GMs,
and more than half of it is just for the
page 36.
Page 236.
In the player's handbook.
36.
In the player's handbook.
Yes.
The player's handbook is only like 80 pages long.
Oh, I have. If you got it via the Kickstarter, it's you have separate books for the spells.
Yeah.
I have I don't have the Kickstarter copy, so all the spells are in the player's handbook.
Also, I need to go to the Dim Walker's book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, look at this. This is how thick the player's handbook is when you don't have a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
It's
there's a lot of pages if you don't have separate books.
Gotcha.
Right. So sadly, the rain have picked up even more during the night, and at this point, the rain is pretty much pounding down on you. There's quite a strong breeze as well, and you can kind of see even the larger branches on the trees and stuff are moving quite strongly side to side, and the wind is just pining through the trees around you guys. So you definitely want to have some nice clothes on when you move on now.
See, this is what happens.
Really affect tracking as well.
Right. Yeah. So you're gonna do a tracking. You're gonna have -3 on that. So let's do a tracking right now.
-3 on tracking.
Blew that.
Let me see. Skills. Tracker.
I'm no good. However, probably we can watch for tree branches, right? Because these are kind of big creatures stomping through the forest.
And I mean, you kind of know which direction they're going. So if you just go, I mean, the road only goes one direction.
Yeah, we knew that prior to the rain. That is correct.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Cool. Nice. So I mean, the Waldhelm managed to pick up the scent again, and it just continues north across the little stream you see up there. So just be careful when you cross the stream, huh? So you can continue through the woods for most of the day. The rain doesn't seem to want to stop. It's still pounding down, and the wind is picking up as well. And it's kind of getting colder as well. Even though it's end of summer, so it's getting colder every day. When you have been going for about 4 hours, you can see that the tracks split up in 2 directions. So one part of the tracks leads straight ahead on the path as you've been following, and the other one leads into the woods to the right.
I'd like to do another tracking.
Okay, sure.
Trying to discern which set of footprints is heavier,
Sure.
laden with carrying something.
You get a +2 on that since you're already on the scent.
It's still the -3 from the rain, right?
Yeah.
It's the -1 now, which is nice.
So
Check the right thing here.
If you want to track, you can always roll for it.
Yes, I got a 5.
Good work. Nice. So I mean, the most it seemed like all of the tracks lead ahead, and there's only one set of tracks leading to the right. And it seemed like the tracks went back on themselves.
Would the ones who went to the right?
False trail.
Yeah, like somebody went in there and came back, or someone else with similar tracks came back.
I will stand up from sussing the ground, and I'll turn to everybody, and I'll say most of the tracks head straight. The ones to the side, they backtracked on each other. It might have been a troll relieving himself. I don't think that they just do it in the middle of the road like a pack animal. So I'm going to sneak over there real quick to take a quick look. You guys stay here and keep watch on the area.
The dagger will accompany you and keep guard and keep a lookout.
Okay.
If there are any trolls over there, don't attack.
So Jordan and Dagger quickly disappears in the underbrush, and you continue down this little track. It takes about 3 minutes maybe, and then you arrive at a big rock, and behind the rock is a huge pile of troll dung.
Okay.
And I need you guys to do a psych situation roll with psyche. 10 plus minus your psyche with a d20.
Does Dagger have to do it?
No.
Okay. It's a scary pile of poo.
It's a nasty pile of poo.
So what pretty much happens is you go around this stone, and the smell just overwhelms you, and you can't stop yourself from just puking out the breakfast you had a few hours ago.
Which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, since it was quite bad anyway. So this day hasn't been very good for Jorin. First getting sick from the breakfast, and now getting sick.
I'm not sick anymore. I just threw it all up.
So maybe it kind of balances itself out. But other than that, nothing really happens. It seemed like he's
okay. Hold on. I just want to ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is what Dagger and Jorin found. The rest of us were supposed to wait on the trail for him to check this out. That's what I was assuming I was doing.
Yep.
So
yeah,
only Jorin and only Jorin should need to make this roll, right?
Yeah. It's only Jorin. If you didn't come with them, and Dagger, since he's not with the living, he doesn't really care about smells and stuff like that. He can't really feel smells.
Okay. I'm going to ask this, and it's really an out of character question.
Mm-hmm.
Are Dagger's eyes milky, or does he have normal human looking eyes?
They're a little unfocused, but I think they're normal human eyes.
Okay, I wouldn't notice unfocused. I would probably notice if it was just, milky horror movie zombie eyes.
If you guys want, you can roll a perception check to see if you noticed anything weird about.
Yeah, you might notice a glow, like
on this point.
They might reflect like a cat's eyes sometimes, like in the darkness.
Mine would also, but
yeah.
So
that's because I.
Yeah. So Brian,
I have.
What did you say?
How long were we on the farm?
More than 10 days, at least 10 days.
During that 10 days, did any of us see Dagger go to the bathroom or take a bath?
Nope.
He did take a bath. He's taken baths.
Have we seen him go to the bathroom?
Probably not.
We've been in combat with this guy. He's gotten hurt. Has he bled?
He has some seeping wounds that have then been bandaged up, and because he did take a few blows in some previous fights.
So over this time, these bandaged wounds, they've just been constantly rebandaged. They haven't healed.
I mean, it's been 2 days since we started taking damage.
Yeah, but at the farm though.
Farm, you probably didn't see. He was wearing poor quality clothes that were kind of ripped up. He wasn't too damaged.
All right, I know that Jorn found him not breathing.
Sleep apnea.
Yeah, it was probably at a temperature that was not normal.
Probably a little chilly.
Jorn in character is putting some things together. And I'm going to tell you right now that I was about to send a message to Patrick that I was going to shank this dude because we are not to have a zombie walking around with us and a necromancer in our party.
So what you can do then is you made some good points here. So let's do an intelligence check. So take a 10 plus minus your intelligence.
Did everyone do it or just Jorin?
Everyone can do it. Jorin can get another +2 on that. And I think it was someone else that also tried to do something with him, right? Who was it?
I have yelled at him, but nothing else.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Sorry.
I keep trying to have him play, what is it, the Viking chess. I am pretty sure I've never, unless there was a really overt sign, and so far I couldn't think of one.
Okay.
I think he's just deaf and dumb.
Right. Lick, you had something?
I rolled a 2.
As did I.
I rolled a
16.
5 under my 9. So yes, I actually.
Because I'm sitting there throwing up breakfast, and I'm looking over at Dagger like, why are you not affected?
Right. That was kind of the last straw.
The lightning bolt.
And as you come back from the trail and tell the other people about this, you all pretty much all of you realize there's something going on with Dagger. There's something wrong. There's something that's not right. It can't be explained by being deaf and mute and like sleep apnea. Can't explain it either. There's something wrong. So,
what's up, Nirnie?
Do you want to say something?
I am kind of. I got some medic knowledge about things. Could I put 2 and 2 together? I'm a pretty smart guy too.
That's pretty much what you guys are doing right now.
Yeah.
All of you got it except Waldhelm. He thinks it's quite normal.
Jorn, coming out of this, they're paused in the rain. It seems like the right time. The mood is right. I'm gonna turn on
little wine, little candles.
I'm gonna turn on the girl. I'm gonna say, girl, what have you done?
Girl?
What do you mean? In regards to what?
Your uncle's dead. What's up with this? It's unnatural. Fix it, or I will end you right now.
He was given back.
Forces you do not understand.
He was given back to protect me.
But by the I don't know what Loki's analog is in this game, but I'm going to say insert Loki's mimic in Trudvang.
Mm-hmm.
I am a dim walker. I have spent much. I am a Hogspori. I spent time amongst the dead, and I would not travel with one were he animated by vile forces.
I'm going to take a couple of steps back.
What did Nirnie just say?
That I'm going to take a couple of steps back, so I'm not too close to Dagger.
So I will.
Yeah. Great.
I as well.
I think Joran, myself, and Greld all basically move back.
No, I don't move. I don't move back.
Okay, you don't?
No.
I do, and from what I hear, Greld also moved back. I have a very surprised look, which will turn into a look of fear as I back away.
So Waldhelm at this point doesn't really know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm just standing there. What? I don't care.
I grasp my bow.
Please, do not
And-
take him from me.
And I take the string off, and I'm like, I've been gazing at the stars every night since we've been at the farm. I'm more of a dim walker than you are, because you have your feet in two different worlds. And I don't think it was dim walking that you used to bring this person back, if that is what you did.
He's all that's left of my family, of my clan.
Of a guilt.
Well, he's not part
He needs to
of
be.
your
He needs
family.
to take
He's
passage into the next world.
flesh.
This is unnatural. He needs.
You would
to
deny him Valhalla?
Yeah, deny him his place in the Great Hall.
It was his duty in life to protect me.
If he needs to be with you,
Not in death.
if he needs to be with you, then we need to know everything that's going on with this guy. And I'm going to tell you, he's going to be the shield for everybody. He's going to be out front, and you're going to be right next to him, because apparently you're the only one that control him and the only one that he's listening to. Now, this is enough of this discussion. We have a girl to find. Gather your crap and let's go. And Yoren turns and starts walking. And while he's walking, he's restringing his bow. I'm not going to have this fall on the name of Clan Ravenhold and sully our connection with the Jarl.
All right. After we find this girl, I will set him free.
Then it would be my honor as a Dimwalker and a Stormlander to help you do so.
There can be only one.
Good one. So, with this matter,
I guess that's some character development. I don't know.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, with that settled for now, you all feel pretty satisfied with outcome, and that this will be
No.
something you're gonna leave for now until you finish whatever you're doing here and finding the girl, getting these trolls, and after that, as Siggy has promised, or Valraven has promised, Dagger will be set free, perhaps. We'll see what happens. So, for now, let's take a little break. I need some coffee. Should we take 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or what do you think?
5 should be good.
Yeah, 5
All
should
right.
be good.
So let's take 5 minutes, guys, and good role playing.
Riot Minds presents an award-winning role-playing game. Trudvang Chronicles. There are many tales and sagas about Trudvang. Many songs about the fallen heroes. Based on the Norse and Celtic myths and legends, Riot Minds present a world of endless adventures. Draw your sword, call upon the gods, weave your magic.
All right, welcome back to the stream. Here we are. Took a little bit more than 5 minutes because we got into some nice discussion in the break here. And this is the kind of discussions we have all the time on Discord as well, and that's really a lot of fun. Trying to figure out how the world works and how our characters would react to it. And that's really why I love this game so much, because you need to do that. I mean, they don't really give you a lot of information in the basic books, in the core books, I would say, compared to other games. There's like they kind of indicate something larger being at work, or kind of give you an inkling of information to kind of guide you a little bit, but the rest you kind of have to figure out by yourself, or get the world books, like we have the Swedish ones that I've been reading up on, and we're getting the Stormlands one pretty soon. I talked with Riot Minds yesterday on Facebook, actually. Riot Minds are the ones making the game, and they said that very soon we're gonna get the Stormlands books very soon. So that sounds good. Okay.
Yeah, good, because I like to pick that up on the side.
Yeah. I'm looking for, even though I have the one in Swedish, but it's gonna be made for the English version of the game as well, and they're gonna have like the most difficult thing with the Swedish version is that all the names are wrong. Yeah. So you have to kind of make your own names, and they might not be the correct ones, and I like to be as correct as possible if I can. So, all right. So we just had a little bit of a character development here, talking about Val Raven's uncle, which most of the group
dead uncle,
right, found out is actually an undead. They've been putting the pieces together for a few days now, and they finally realized that he's not actually alive. He's Val Raven's animated dead victim, I guess you can call it. And I would say if you had stayed longer at Yuka's Hearth than 10 days, you would have seen some effects from this around the area as well, with children being stillborn and this kind of thing, because that kind of life energy that is in Dagger came from somewhere. So just be careful about that. If you come back to Yuka's Hearth and all the children are dead or something, it's kind of Val Raven's fault. Yeah, Nirnie?
As long as he doesn't kill Ogda.
Yeah. So Greld is clearly afraid of this dagger, but he is a person that wants to know how things work and things like that. So I'm actually going to, because I presume that most people go forward and try to not get too close to the others. So I'm going to go back to Val Raven and kind of poking on her knee to get her attention.
This is done while we're walking, right?
Yeah. While we're walking.
What, you wish to chastise me about trying to hold on to my people as well?
Not today. He's not going to eat me or anything, because I heard about some.
No, he is not going to eat you.
Yeah. So I want to know how it is possible. What? How did you do it? Because I have never heard about anything like this from where I come from.
It was not a simple thing. I lived many years of my life amongst the dead, in the tombs of my and others' ancestors. I communed with the dead. I carried out burials. I was the point where the living would deliver the dead.
So you're saying that you can actually speak to the dead?
In time, if the gods grant me that ability.
So how does that work with this person thing?
I needed help, so I pulled I pulled the strength from around me, around my slain clansmen, and from myself, and I gave him new life.
How long do you drain the surroundings? Is that still something that you need to do every day? Now Greld is clearly looking worried about the situation.
No, there's no need to worry. It was in a far-off place, and the magics that animate him, the energy should last a while.
So this is why he can't hear us or respond.
He can hear you. He just...
Does he understand what I'm saying?
Val kind of looks at him and says, he can understand, but he's not inclined to react. He is walking, he can fight. He acts mostly on muscle memory. There is not much in the way of conversation anymore.
Does his wound still heal?
Not as the livings would. They do not scar, but they seem to be reinforced with the energy.
So, do I have any ink and the parchments with me?
Do you have a writing kit?
I think so. I'm gonna check a bit first.
I
No.
do, but you may not know it.
Yeah, I do. A small writer's kit.
Yeah, so if you have a small writing kit, you have a basic setup of parchment and ink and stuff.
Yeah,
I
so
would not
can
recommend
probably
you let
see
the others see you taking notes.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on you guys having this conversation either. We need to focus.
So you can probably see Greld is just grabbing something from his backpack, take it down and writing something fast and put it in. And then he looking very worried on Dagger and kind of nod as a...
While you're looking at Dagger, he's slowly...
Because I'm still afraid of him. It's still very unnatural.
Right. So as you're looking at Dagger, he slowly turns his head towards you, and he seems to be looking into your eyes, and he gives you a small smirk. A small smirk. So, and then he just looks back and looks with his dead eyes straight ahead again.
So you can probably see Greld is just shivering and start shaking before he start to walk very
Val
fast.
reaches forward and just catches his shoulder and says, most important is to always trust the ravens.
And you guys do know that connected to Dagger's backpack hangs a small cage with Raven's pet raven in it. And as he mentions the raven, it also makes some like scuttling sounds, like it's moving around inside the cage, but doesn't really say anything.
Yeah, I'm definitely going as fast as I can forward to the other people in the front.
Oh, I had already stated that you're in the front, because I had already stated the Dagger needed to be up front.
Okay,
with Val Raven, so
that's true. So I'm probably going to be a bit forward from everyone, so I don't need to be too close to Dagger. And
maybe it would make sense to fall behind a little bit instead.
Yeah.
It's kind of like stop and everybody passes you by.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So it's past midday now. If nobody else has something they want to do or say.
Just track. Is it still raining?
Yeah, it's still pounding down.
Rain. I hate rain.
It's pounding down on everyone.
I guess this is why it's called the Stormlands.
Mm-hmm. The summer rains of the Stormlands is not to be trifled with.
Stormy seas.
So, about a little bit past midday, you've been continuing through the woods. You get to a little bit rockier area, and there's some pretty big hills and even small mountains ahead of you in the forest. And you start hearing the sound of metal on stone ahead of you. It sounds like some kind of metal is like being hit into the, like put into the stone over and over again. Let's see here. Did we?
So geographically wise, where are we?
On the map, you're pretty much in the forest, like northwest of Bearfield, like more west, that patch of forest by itself there, and the two patches of forest by itself there.
Can you click on the map?
Yeah. How do you make a? Like
I think you hold control.
Like you're pretty much here.
Oh, okay.
Or
Over here.
Oh, there's Yukis Earth. Okay. All right. Cool.
In this area.
up here?
Yeah. You hold control. You say and click.
There's bird.
I just click. I don't hold control at all.
Doesn't work.
Gotta have the arrow, I believe.
There's a way to make it focus everyone to look at it.
But
Yeah, hopefully we're going through that path and not through the woods itself.
Going
That
up here.
makes more sense.
Yeah, pretty much.
All
like that. There's not. I mean, you can't really see any mountains or anything on the map, but there's some smaller mountains in the forest. But yeah,
Are they more hills than mountains?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah. But anyway, you hear the sound of what you can kind of connect with pickaxes on stone, and also the heavier thumps of sledgehammers on stone. And as you move up the brow of the hill, you see a tall rock wall towering above the trees further down. And there seemed to be a gathering of small humanoids working on the rock wall and making a hole in it. So let's see.
I'm gonna ask Greld, is that some of your friends down there?
Can I roll a Stormlands? Can I roll a land knowledge or something
Yeah, sure.
to know what this place is?
And what kind of land knowledge do you want to roll?
Stormland land knowledge?
Okay, sure.
Or lore and legends? I'm better at lore and legends.
Yeah,
But that's what I was getting at with our whole geographically, where are we?
yeah, so it would be, I guess. I mean, it would be geography or something, right?
Yeah.
Is there geography?
Yeah, there's under wilderness geography. Everyone.
Land knowledge there would be the one then, if you know about this place.
Okay. That's a fail.
Yeah. Never heard of it.
That's kind of what I was implying with my question of geography, so I'm going to go ahead and make that roll as well.
D30?
We are somewhere in the middle of the Midlands.
Oh, no. Well, that's a D30. I don't think that's what you're going to roll, huh? A D20.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, nice one.
I'm gonna try one.
Sure.
The dice are in my favor today.
Indeed.
Something's wrong with my formula?
No, Ellen
1d20.
will roll a D30 instead of D20.
Yeah. Typed the wrong thing. Well, it doesn't matter.
He's of the earth. He gets a higher chance.
I mean, Brian, you had never been this area before, but you never heard of. I mean, you can kind of see that there's dwarves down there.
Hey, Licklig.
Yeah, and you never heard of any dwarves living above ground around here.
Licklig, is this Can you have some insight on these people?
Yeah, Greld is the dwarf. Huh?
And if you excuse me, I happen to be a dwarf.
I would say that you're a better cart driver than a dwarf at this point.
Just putting you down here. You can move yourself around.
My knowledge is limited to my family. If there are other dwarves living above ground around here, or there's an encampment, I'm unaware. I may be able to speak with them. Maybe their dialect is far off. I have no knowledge. I would have to speak with them and find out. I don't. Do we see any clan tartans or kilts or any types of flags, clan identifiers?
They would never do such a thing, if you excuse me.
Well, I think you and Licklick need to go find out. And be our ambassadors in this situation. Maybe they got some knowledge for us about what's going on with the trolls in the area, so we can find this girl and get back to our mission.
Maybe they would like to help us kill the trolls.
Yeah, they didn't work too well with the goblins, but hopefully.
So, I mean, dwarves in general don't really show clan colors or anything like that. There's only brotherhoods and there's realms and countries and stuff, but they wouldn't show it on their clothes.
We wouldn't want to announce who we are until
not necessarily, no.
Yeah, so.
You're dwarves. You're short. What else is there?
Looking
Perfect
at
kneecapping.
That is like saying that all humans are in the same clan.
We were at one time.
Are we going to approach him?
Yeah.
Even I know the story of the Emir.
So, I'm thinking that I'm probably going either if Licklig is following me or if he's going towards them too. Greld is probably taking the front to walk towards the other dwarfs.
I'll walk down there with you. I'll accompany you.
All right. So as you move up closer to the edge of the
cloak on, hood up.
One of them seemed to notice you. It seemed to be looks like the older of the dwarves running around there. There's about 8 dwarves, and all of them except this guy who looks a little bit better dressed than the other ones are working on making a big hole in the cliff wall. Next to the cliff is another big piece of stone that some of them are working on as well. That seem to be it seems to be the door. They're making the door for this hole. They are far from done, but they seem to be been working here for quite a while. There's wooden platforms and stuff helping them reach. And the guy that sees you guys are approaching. He looks a little bit older. He has brown, long beard and hair. And he is carrying some documents. It seems to be some kind of plans for this gate.
Did something happen?
Yeah. Okay, my connection was a little bit unstable. Did you hear the last there? He's carrying something that looks like plans. He has brown hair and beard, and he looks a little bit older than the rest. And he's much better dressed than the rest. The other ones are all in work outfits and simple armor and stuff. So so you guys approach, and he.
Before we approach, I want to throw walk in the shadows.
All right.
Just for our own protection. Nope, doesn't work.
Have you ever managed to once? I guess.
Yeah.
So Licklig and Greld, you need to be a pro with Dagger and Valraven.
Yeah, move your characters around how they are situated very much, and
I guess the guy with the little staff is their nicer looking leader.
Yeah.
So like that maybe. Where
I'll
is the
try it.
road?
I made them
that's
pretty
super
big,
close.
these guys, didn't I?
Yeah.
Ignore that.
So where is the road? Is it?
I mean, that where he's standing, that's where you can get up on the platform there.
Okay. Yeah. So I will probably walk up and do an honorable greeting if it's bowing and say, "Hail, elder!"
Oh, brother! I didn't expect seeing another dwarf in this area. What are you doing here?
I must say that I didn't expect to see more brethren up here. I thought that it was uncommonly for us to be so far away from the mountains.
He takes a step down on the little path there, and he grabs your arm in a greeting, like you grab each other's arms like this, and he uses that greeting to also pull you up the last part of this little treacherous part.
Are these Borjornikkas or Baracha dwarves?
The Borjornikkas, all of them.
Okay, yeah. So I'm clearly happy to see them, and I'm looking at them. Are you perhaps from the Trolljaeger mountains? So I'm speaking Dwarvish now, and not.
I was guessing. I was guessing that. He says that's correct. I'm from. I'm going from Grundkorva, but more specifically, I'm from Ivonda. Actually, this is here a new entrance to our kingdom. And you realize that Ivonda is not this far east. Oh, by the way, thanks for following, Donara. So Ivonda is the easternmost kingdom of the 5 kingdoms of the Trolljaeger mountain dwarves, but this is a little bit further east than they are usually at. And he says, my name is Njordir. I'm happy to meet you.
So, is it commonly that dwarves are giving their proper name to other dwarves, or do they carry on with their...
you don't give your proper names except to your brothers.
Yeah, so I would probably introduce myself as a Gel.
Yeah.
A son of Gel. So, I'm from the... excuse me? I'm from the Olgislav, from the Gel family.
Oh, Olgislav, we have good connections with them. One of our masters in the Iron Ring, Master Garin, the Red Tongue. I'm sure you have heard of him. Master Garin Red Tongue is a quite famous dwarf in this area. He's said to be one of the Stoneborn, a kind of reincarnation of the first dwarves given life by Borjorn, the spirit of the mountain, and he's famous for amazing craftsmanship and so on. And this dwarf say, actually, he is my big brother. We are happy to meet another dwarf from the Trolljaeger mountains.
They're speaking Dwarven?
Yeah, Dwarven. So
we gotta move up to Licklig. What are they saying?
Who are these people with you, my brother?
These are my traveling companions. You can, in the front, you see Jorin, a strong human warrior and proud. Between him is Licklig, another strong warrior.
As he looks at Licklig, he kind of takes a step back and kind of notice your albino-ness and says, what is wrong with this man? Is he a spirit? And at the alarming voice of their big brother, all the other dwarves kind of turn around as well, looking what's going on down there.
Yeah.
In Dwarven, I will say, honored elder, I'm Liklig Bulfai Dorvinson. I was raised by your people. My mother named me Liklig because of my skin. I am your friend.
And he seems...
We are hunting trolls.
He seems extremely surprised at your amazing Futhark dialect and pronunciation. And he says, you speak our language so well. Like you were one of us. You say your father was a dwarf? You don't look like one of us. And
my mother says I was found on the riverside, possibly given up by spirits. I do not know, but I bleed like you or the others. We are seeking trolls, for they have stolen a young human. Have you seen any?
Indeed, my friend. There's been trolls walking past here just the other day. I think there were 3 of them, and they had a small child with them. We tried to stay away from these creatures, but they were walking down the way over there, and he points about over like 150 meters.
And you did nothing.
We don't want to interfere with the humans if we can avoid it. We know that we are on human lands right now, and we don't want to get into anything with anybody here, and especially not with the trolls of this area.
He understood me.
Yeah, he does understand, and he answers.
Wait.
Well, did you understand him? By the way,
I will nod to the elder. I'll turn around and say, we've just finished introductions, and I asked him where the trolls are. That's as much as I'll say.
Right, and he says, the older dwarf says in broken Vrok, I can speak your human language too, if this is more convenient for you. He says.
I am going to move up where they can see me and glower.
No.
I'm going to reveal my elven ears at this point too.
No.
Just for the extra fear benefit.
You have friends of all kind of races, he says to Greld.
Because
all are enemies of us all.
Exactly. We can work together.
What is your name, my son?
We are the world.
Is he asking Jorin or?
He's asking Liklig. What did you say your name was? He's asking Liklig.
My mother named me Liklig. My father named me Bulfai. They told me that our last name now is Dwarvenson. That is much as they've told me. I do not know the circumstances.
That is a very unusual name.
Politics.
So, do you mean to say that both of your parents are dwarves?
I was adopted, yes.
Is your mother is a dwarf?
No. My dwarven mother found me in a reed basket on the side of a river. When she picked me up, she said she fell in love and the spirit spoke to her. She named me Liklig because she thought that I was a good omen.
As you mentioned your dwarven mother, all the dwarves suddenly all stop with what they're doing and stares at you and stares at their older brother. And he takes a step forward and said, there was a mother dwarf above ground? Are you sure?
I have never seen her as anything other than a dwarven lady. I'm not laughing, but that's me laughing, not my character. I will simply say I've never seen her other than.
She had fair skin.
Yes.
She was beautiful.
She was my mother, of course.
Did she have a beard? She didn't.
No. But she does have some killer. She got some killer chops on the side.
So as you're talking, the other dwarfs are kind of motioning closer as well and listening in, and they're all kind of talking to themselves amongst themselves, and they seem quite surprised about this. And he says, "I only ever heard of one time a female dwarf left the depth of the mountains, but that cannot be this one."
Oh, now this is for you, Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all part of the story that you can fill in as you want. Do I have common Dwarven language, or do I speak with a high Dwarven language? Did my parents teach me Dwarven of the court, or are they just commoners? You're going to have to decide that when I speak, because this, other than Snorri, other than the dwarf in the group, I don't know what my Dwarven sounds like. So it may be very articulate, or it might just be meh. It's up to you. So if you want to say that both my parents were up there, that's up to you. I don't know.
Yeah, he's already mentioned that he was very taken aback by your very fluent Futhark. So
okay, that's cool. Yeah,
I haven't really thought about there being different types of Futhark, but if there was a type, your Futhark would be the one that the nobles talk.
Dang.
Okay.
And it seems to be the same dialect as the elder that you're talking with right now. And he's not that old. He seems to be around.
Okay, that's fine.
Around the same age as Greld, actually.
That is really
okay.
So, and he says, "What did you say your father's name was?"
He told me. Now I'm using the Dwarven knowledge here. He told me to call him Torvil.
Are you sure?
That's what he told me to call him.
Torvil of the Iron Ring. It cannot
so
be.
I'm going to look at Lycklig now with a kind of a sad look, like the look that says is that poor boy, his father never told him his name.
He may have, and then that would be part. Maybe he was told before he left politically, nobody's to know that you're still alive. So this is the name he gave me. My mother's name is Dagny. It may not be her real name. Maybe that's just what they called each other. I don't know.
As the mention of Dagny, the other dwarfs really, the sound volume raises another snippet, and they start really discussing with each other, and you can't really make out what they're saying, but they seem quite excited about this. And he asks you, how long ago did your father leave the Dwarven kingdoms?
I was told not to ask. I have been with them my whole life, of at least 16 seasons.
16 seasons. Oh, it could be, but
at least.
I can't.
Maybe longer for them. I don't know.
I can't believe it, but it fits with the time frame that we have heard of. I myself is part of the Iron Ring. This is our governing council in Ivonda. Ivonda is called Ramspark in Vrok. So the Iron, I can just talk a little bit out of character. The Iron Ring is the council of dwarves, the council of Master Smith that rules the country of Ivonda. That's the easternmost countries of the 5 countries in underneath the Trolljaeger Mountains, in what's called the Grunnkrovorda. That's the old massive realm of the dwarves that was there many hundreds of years ago. And I don't know if your father told Lycklig about this, about the Iron Ring and the countries that the country he was from, or anything like that. I guess not. But Greld definitely knows about the Iron Ring, and Greld's country of Olgiselev, is a neighboring country to Yvonda, and you have good relations with each other. The youngest member of the Iron Ring is called Gargin the Red Tongue. That's the guy I mentioned before. He's one of the youngest one with his 100 years, and he has a very good connection with the leader of Ogisilev called Trolljaeger Dragon Slayer. He's a famous hero in the Dwarven Kingdoms. That's your leader. They have very good connections.
No. Dvorgel is his leader. His father. What is his father to this clan?
Right. So that's what he's gonna say.
As I look at my family friend Licklig, like what the shit? You know?
If this is the same man that we think it is, Licklig, my son, he says, your father could actually be Thorvil of the Iron Ring. He was banished from our kingdom for almost 100 years now. But I never thought I would meet anybody in connection with him. Did you ever know his real name?
I was told not to ask.
If this is the man,
that was part of some type of agreement.
If this is the man, he's also a brother of Gargin, Red Tongue, as are we. If this is your father, he would be our big brother, he says, and looks at you up and down. That would make you our little brother, I guess.
I would be honored to have more family.
Be honored to have some help killing these trolls. How about that?
Will you join us for a midday supper? I would love to hear more about your father and your mother. And of course, all of your companions are welcome to share with us.
We would be honored. However, we have obligations that were given down by Jarls. What would somebody who would be part of a homestead, whatever he would be, a minor Jarl or something? We need to return his daughter. There you go. So then I would just quickly explain it. We're time and not of the essence. We would be honored to do so. However, we need to get this young child.
I wish there was something.
Any help that you could give us would be appreciated.
I don't know what I could do. I mean, we are here on our own mission to make a new entrance to Yvonda. We are also on a timetable. We are not really allowed by the Iron Council, Iron Ring to move out of this area.
Is he still speaking in Vrok?
He's speaking in broken Vrok now. Yeah.
Okay, I will say I'm gonna say it.
Sure.
I am from the Raven clan, the Ravenhold clan. I'm Jorn Ravenhold, son of Klogrim Ravenhold. We are pledged to the Jarl. Jarl Lodebrat. You have my word. And I look at Greld. Give me some paper and a pen.
So I'm not giving you it, but I am taking it and ready to write what you want me to write.
Okay, by the permission and honor of Clan Ravenhold, this insert their clan name, have been given rights to mine this area, and will henceforth this forms a bond between our two clans. You will provide us 10% or 10% of all of findings within the mine, and I will personally sign it, and I'll put the Ravenhold crest on
it. So they seem a little bit confused about this, but this is not a mine, Master Ravenhold. This is a eastern entrance to our kingdom. We have expanded in this area, and we would like to start trade with the humans living here.
All right, get out another piece of paper. Yeah, pretty much the document that we're about to draft up.
I can copy it later.
Yeah, we need. This is a treaty we're going to do right now. I'm authorizing. Clan Ravenhold is authorizing them to build an entrance to their kingdom to establish trade between our two clans.
Your clan is the owner of this land.
How close are we to Ravenhold? Well, we're alleged to the Jarl, so this is something that's going to benefit the Jarl ultimately.
Well,
so
if we quickly go to the map again, we can take a look. Yeah.
I mean, it's a little northwest of where Ravenhold is.
Ravenhold is in
Down by the
Iron Moors.
I don't care.
Okay, is this part of Bearfield?
This would be between. I mean, this is between Bearfield and the big harbor of Yxa, and actually, it's in the middle of Stigor, Yxa, and Bearfield. So probably this area wouldn't really be owned by anybody. This kind of wildlands in the middle here.
Well, its claim is being staked because I'm doing this primarily with the thoughts of if this is what they want to do. I'm thinking about my family. I'm thinking ultimately about the Jarl, how it's going to benefit us. If this is not in his competition's territory, then I think we're good. If this is going to benefit Jorn Enteloff, the Shield Jarl, then we're a lot. Or whichever Enteloff. Yeah, he's the one, right? Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the thing is that the complicated thing with the Clan Ravenhold and the area we are in right now is that Clan Ravenhold is in the lands of Jorn Entloff.
This is the blue area, right?
No man's land.
This is the other guy's land.
Yeah, this is this land would be part of Jorn Entloff, and he is the shield jarl of the area that owns the area where Ravenhold Castle is. Since his area is from Rim Coast in the south, all the way to Trollmark Castle in the northwest and the east part.
Right, so we're good. We're good, right?
Yeah, so I mean, this would be part of Jorn Entloff's land.
Yeah, so we're good.
Yeah, so Dukas Hearth and Bearfield are on the border between Shield Jarl Entloff and Shield Jarl Wolfgat Shorud.
Right. Okay, yeah. So basically, out of character, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give him assurances that he doesn't have to worry about anything if they're approached by other humans of the area. He just needs to present them with this document.
Okay.
Show them.
And he says, of course, we're very happy to sign a treaty with the people owning this area, so we can start off on the right foot.
And I will take what documents they have, and I'll make a copy of it, and we'll both sign it, and I'll bring it to the thing, because this is a big deal. Hey, Jarl, here's another gift for you. Some trade with the dwarves. Sure.
Sounds good. So he also signs it with his dwarven rune, and he also writes in Vrok underneath the translation of his name. And
Jorn pulls out his cell phone because he's a time traveler. Take a picture of the
and he asked him, would you join us for supper? We're just about to take a break.
We really need to go get this girl. Is that an open invitation on the way back? Can we take a rain check?
Of course, if we are still here when you come back this way, you are welcome to join us anytime.
They'll post a guard on the entrance, correct? Or it'll be hidden.
I mean, they will probably be here for quite a long while.
Okay.
And if this is going to be a future entering to the Ivora, well, then they will be here for quite some time.
Yeah.
Right, because they need to make the stone door fit properly, and they need to make everything work, and they haven't even finished the hole in the wall yet.
I'm going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull out one of those blue orbs, and I'm going to present it to him, and I'm going to show him that there is a set, and I'll hand him one.
He takes it, and he says,
"These are two.
What is this?
It is to represent our union of our clans. This is 2 pairs of a set. You are one half. We are the other half. Liquid, put your hand upon this stone." I ask everybody to put their hand on this stone. Everybody, bam.
Go team.
Go team.
I ask everybody to put their hand on this stone. We are pledged together from henceforth.
All right, so everybody puts their hand on the stone?
Yes.
Val and Dagger kind of stand at the back, not sure if they're getting the invite as well.
I look at you. I look at Valraven. We've already had our agreement. I'm honoring your procedure after this. After we rescue the girl, honor this.
Val steps forward, and I guess Dagger does as well.
Jesus.
He will not put his hand on this thing, but based on everything.
Yeah, you can call him a serf and explain it away. Call him a serf and explain it away. He doesn't need to be here. He's a serf. He'll do as he's told. That's a really easy way to get him away from this. Because,
and I do not know a Swedish term for union or a clan of warriors, but I'm calling it for the party that we are going to be named something right now at this moment. So right. I would say that we are
the Order of the Stick.
What kind of what word do you want me to tell you in English?
We are the like variety, eclectic, a mix.
Band,
fellowship, or
yeah, I want to say band or crew.
Yeah, band.
We are the band of. I'm looking to the party for something. I'm looking to the rest of you for something. Because I'm not going to claim it for my family. This is us. This is us finally coming together as a team to set forth.
Unanimous, anonymous.
Acquisitions Incorporated.
Kinship.
Waldhelm just wakes up in the bushes.
Hand of the bear.
A troop, a band, a kinship.
Oh, I got it.
What is going on? I'm just waking up from the bushes here.
The troll hunters of, and then enter,
It would probably be the troll hunters of Bearfield.
Yeah, but we're not from there. But that's what I don't know.
Trolljaeger.
We'll retroactively insert a cool name later. We need to get.
All right, we can talk about it on Discord later.
It's going to involve the orb. I was going to say the big orb or something. I don't know, the blue, because we're pledging our allegiance to that with these dwarves. So the dual orbs of, Shastafar.
The Order of the Anal Beads.
No, that's the other bauble.
No.
Gave those away, remember?
I'm gonna pull out. I'm just gonna name these things right now. They are the orbs of May. I'll pull my sister's name in just because he's been thinking about it lately. We are the.
Yeah.
These are the orbs of we are the order of the band of brothers. Oh, it's band of brothers, whatever.
So we have one guy talking in Donar is talking in the chat here. It says Trolljaeger. It means troll hunters in Swedish.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like it. We shall be henceforth known as the Trolljaeger.
Trolljaeger. Yeah, Trolljaeger. I can write it in the chat here.
Like Aaron Yeager.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Guy that that in there.
Thanks, donor. So, like this. Okay, the order of Trolljaeger. Perfect. And he says, he looks you all in the eyes and says, I'm honored to make your acquaintance, you order of Trolljaeger. I hope we can have a chance to interact in the future. And even though you don't join us for dinner today, could I have another word with Licklig alone before you leave?
Of course.
So he kind of he still looks a little bit. He's still not used to your albiness, but he kind of brings you to the side of the group and he says in a hushed voice, he says, "If your father is truly who I think he is, he should recognize this. Can you give this to your father?" And he pulls out his dagger from the side with the sheath and everything. It's a beautiful sheath with the golden carvings on it. It seems to be it's a CX dagger, but in the dwarven style, with a much broader blade and a little bit longer, almost like a short sword. In this case, you can consider it a short sword, actually. And I will tell you a little bit more about it, but as you pull it out of the sheath, the metal seems almost like it's sparkling. It's some kind of silvery metal, and on the side of the metal, something is written in Futhark. Can you read Futhark?
The runes, again, if they had something to do with weapons, I might be able to read them. We never hammered out whether my guy was literate or not. I don't know if Dagny would have taught that to me. Definitely my father would have taught me runes of protection and stuff like that for weapons.
Right.
But as far as reading tablets, no idea.
Oh, do you have language reading and writing Futhark?
Let's take a look real quick. Is it going to be under knowledge?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I do not have reading and writing. I've got mother tongue, and I've got foreign tongue, Vrok.
Right.
So
he explains.
I'd give it to you.
Yeah, he explains to you.
What?
This is the sigil of the Iron Ring. Each member of the Iron Ring is given one of these. Your father would have had one if he is who I think he is. But of course he had to leave it when he got banished from our kingdom. I'm hoping he will open up to you and tell you what really happened. I don't think it's my place. But please, he's my brother. Show it to him. And if it's really him, he will know it's from me. And
I will.
He also says, "My son, do you know what this is? This metal?"
Nothing, no idea.
He says, "This is our most sacred metal. This is Mitharka."
Did you just get a mithril dagger?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's sweet.
Oh,
That's so cool.
Please, God, this.
You know I won't use it. I won't
Yeah,
use this. I was told to display this to my dwarven father.
Yeah,
It'll sit at the bottom of my
I know.
Please treat this as your baby. We cannot lose this. This is one of the few daggers that we have left from the age of the Mitharka, and this is a sigil of the Iron Ring. The one holding this will be welcome into Ibonda at any time and be treated as an honored guest. And I'm expecting to get this back one day when you are done with it. But for now, this is something that you are supposed to have. And you know from your father's stories that the dwarven items that they make are all for a purpose. There's always a purpose for each item. And this is something that just naturally comes to the dwarves, and that they know that this is where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, as I said earlier, the dwarves are all about making things into the perfect things for their god, for the mountain, and all that.
So this is pretty much the most beautiful dagger you've ever seen. The engravings are all masterfully done. If in the game mechanics, this would be a legendary quality dagger, but of course now it's more like a glyph, right? So if you put it in the automatic sheet, you can put it down as a glyph, legendary, and I will give you some other information about what the mitraka does later.
Okay.
Because we're not going to really use it now anyway, I'm guessing. And it says, my son, like I said, please protect this with your life, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again and hearing from my brother and your mother. And then he
I will do so.
He offers his arm, just like he did with Greld before, in the dwarven handshake.
Okay, like a Roman legion.
Right, exactly.
Got it.
And you can kind of see how that this really touched him in some way. He seems to be quite touched by this moment, and the news of his brother must have been something he's been thinking about quite a lot. So, all right. So he moves away from you, and they continue their work on the gate, and it's time for you guys to move on.
Diddy Mao. Okay.
So I think this is a pretty good time to stop today if you want to. We can continue a little bit more if you want, but
I think this is a good point.
Yeah.
It's like 20 past 7 here, so this is a little bit earlier than usually, but I think it's a good place to stay. I'm really happy about the character development this time, and I'm happy to finally get into some real stuff about your character backgrounds, and I have you guys actually interact with each other. It's something I've been looking forward to. It really makes it much more fun for all of us, I think. So don't be afraid to do that more. Just talk with each other and talk, and like play out your characters now when we kind of know them a little bit better. So yeah, so let's go through some feedback a little bit. So let's start with Alpakka. Do you have anything you want to say about the session? How do you think it went? And this kind of thing.
Well, I think it went pretty good.
Mm-hmm. You were a little bit standing in the
bushes,
and being pretty
cautious.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is what rogue is, trying to stay in the shadows.
Right.
Trying to steal mitraka daggers.
No, you don't see that. It's standing GM.
Oh, you wrote something to me. Okay. How did you guys see that, or did you see it on the stream?
See what?
The message from Waldhelm.
I missed it.
Okay, well, maybe you should write to me in Zoom instead, in a private message, Patrick.
Yeah.
So not everybody can see it on the stream later.
I was making a joke.
Well, Waldhelm was not making a joke. Anyway, so what about you, Siggy? What do you think about the session? And
Oh, I love inter-character drama. My favorite thing.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good. We needed to hash it out about Dagger a little bit in the game, I think. So
yeah, I mean, I was planning on ditching him before we started before we got to Wildheart.
Right.
I thought it'd be a little later than now, though.
That's fine, though. I think that's gonna work out pretty well. I mean, because you had him to protect yourself and to help you when you were on your knees, pretty much, and you're not on your knees anymore. Now you have actually a band of the Trolljaeger and friends around you again, and maybe even opportunity to open up and talk about your clan and what happened, and who knows what will happen in the future. Maybe you will go back and retake your ancestral lands or something. So what about you, Nirnie?
I think that this is the thing that I actually want now in the role playing, that we start to talk more and more with each other. And I think that's just natural that it's now that we're really getting on with that, because this is the 5th time that we are playing with each other's. So we start to know that, being comfortable enough to actually start. So I'm looking forward to more and more of that.
Right, definitely.
And the order that we know that that person first, I think that everything is going to go smoother and smoother.
Yeah, like when we figured out the combat and like the order that we talk, and I can actually see you guys like raising your hand if you want to say something, and that really helps. And also the fact that we know our characters now, right? And even for me as well, that I know your characters much better. I don't need to look at my paper that I wrote about your characters so often anymore. I just know kind of by heart what's going on. And actually, I wrote a whole section about the Lick for this session, and I learned a lot about the dwarves and stuff. So I feel better as a GM now as well. I feel more comfortable, and I think that kind of shows. I think in the first few sessions, all of us were kind of nervous and uncomfortable with what was going on and stuff like that. So, what about Greg Ellendil?
We had development here for characters, so we could see a little bit more of each of them. That's pretty good. It's fun. The only, and Flynn alluded to this, the only real thing I see is, at least for the English-speaking guys, we don't necessarily have some of the information we would like to be able to play the characters. Like I said, Flynn alluded to it, because to him, some of the stuff that may have been in the older editions and has not made it into the translations of this editions, like the gods and their spheres and stuff like that, can handicap a little bit of your role play experience.
Yeah, we're definitely missing quite a bit of the lore, which I think best thing to do in that case is just ask one of the native speakers.
Yeah, like Nirnie is also really into the lore and stuff, and I'm reading up on it as well. I mean, that was actually one of my biggest worries when I started as a GM, because since I played the game before the older versions, but that was when I was quite young. So I felt like, first off, there was a lot of information for me to kind of take in, and then I realized pretty quickly that there's a lot of information missing. And that's something I could make up as a GM, of course, but as a new GM, that's quite a daunting task, and I kind of like to have something to back it up or to base it on. But actually, if you guys want to know more about the world and stuff, like I said before, check out my map that I'm making, because I'm adding to it all the time, and I'm translating from the books and adding to the different cities and this kind of thing, and the different feuds and stuff. That's the link below here in the World Anvil map. And if there's something specific, then you can just ask me or Nirnie or anybody Swedish.
I also highly recommend reading the spells. They give you a great feel for lore and whatnot. And another important thing to know is, for the Stormlanders at least, while they do have some spheres of influence, they seem to follow more of the Norse tradition, where they're more personalities kind of thing. Like, we do have a god of the night, we do have the head god, we have a god of sunlight,
god of the dead.
But they all have relationships to each other.
Right. Yeah, that's even in the other religions as well. In this book, they all are like brothers and sisters and husbands and wives to each other. Like they marry their daughters and stuff, like they did in the Norse mythology as well. And also, if you want to get some more lore, you can check out the Norse mythology and get some from there. But yeah, for now, I understand it's kind of frustrating not having all the information, but also remember you don't really need all the information. I mean, that's kind of why we're playing as well, to find out about how stuff work. And like today, like Flynn, for example, with his dwarven ancestry and stuff, he didn't really know exactly how everything worked, but Flynn wrote a beautiful background, and some of it was a little bit different from the dwarven books, but we kind of made it work anyway, right? Like now it's kind of become a mystery. How come this dwarven woman is out of the mountain, you know? Like, I think it makes it interesting in other ways. So don't worry about it too much, I think.
The background that I wrote for my character, I don't need to, I don't need to know a lot extra.
Right.
It's
but it is good
fun for me personally, but yeah.
I agree. I love the lore and stuff, and I wish there was more clear lore in the core books, but they are core books. I mean, there's going to come books for all the countries and everything.
Yeah, it's just the only thing with that is they could be a little faster for my taste getting some of this done.
And actually, I did offer my services to them to translate and stuff yesterday. So, and they said that they would think about it. Yeah, because I've been translating like in one day I translated like one section of the Dwarven book. And, if I did that for full time for a week, I would have the book finished pretty much. Wouldn't be perfect in any way, but it would be a rough draft at least.
That's what editors are for.
Right. Nice, Greg. What about you, Flynn? What do you think about this session?
Well, a lot of people have hit a lot of good points. I'm about it. I take my role-playing game very seriously. I enjoy it. One thing that's really great about this game is these are not Tolkien elves. These are not Tolkien dwarves. These are not any other novels that I've read. I can't say, oh, this example, this is how this guy's going to do this. So when my character's stumbling around because he doesn't know, that's because I don't know. There's no metagaming. I'm enjoying that mystery a little bit. It'd still be great to have books in English, and that's coming. We beat that to death. But being able to say, blah,
right.
He doesn't know. Hey, so what's going on in your life? Yeah, I don't know. And the relationships within the group, that's very, very tight. As a side note, having a necromancer, regardless of what words you want to use in a group, would be an instant reason to murder that person right then. These are called the revenants. You don't do that unless you're working for evil people. Okay, but at this point, my character has heard stories. I don't know. I'm an albino. I'm not supposed to exist. So, and I'm working with a half Andre the Giant over here with a tail, and I've got a dwarf that other dwarfs call Shorty in our group. We've got a half elf. So right now, my character is very wary of the things that, I don't even know what I don't know, and I don't know, not just my character. So I'm enjoying that a little bit, and at the same time, it's a little bit frustrating because I don't even have a book. I don't even know what I can ask. That's where I am.
I understand.
So I'm enjoying it. We're getting there.
I'm real glad you guys.
That's where I am. I'm having fun.
Kill me or my characters.
And yeah, definitely, Flynn. That's also what I love about role-playing games in general, and especially this game, because it's very different from like there's nothing even similar to Tolkien dwarves or elves in this game, right? Of course, there's some connections you can do. And this is the reason why I love these games as a kid as well. And then when I started playing D&D and stuff later, I just realized that this was the game I wanted to play most of the time. And that's why I'm doing this now. And I hope we can together explore and find out more about this world. Right. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I got to say, you're welcome, everyone, because a lot of the things that Yoren did was me translating our personal things into game.
And that was awesome.
In character, I have been playing Yoren, and like everyone said, we're still sussing out our characters. When I created Yoren, I was like, okay, yeah, he's the son of some dude and some elf lady, but then there's, I'm not really sure of how, Patrick's like, do a social setting, like, okay, his family owns some land, whatever that's going to entail. They're loyal to the Jarl, and I haven't been really drawing on that, and I thought it was time that Yoren needed to step in and put his foot down to kind of take charge of things, because at the farm, even though it's a farm for a rival Jarl, he's in the fields with you guys, but he's also the foreman. He's the one that's literate and everything. He's checking things off and making sure things are good, but yet he's still getting his hands dirty. So he doesn't want to be that guy that's above everybody. But when it's out in the world, he hasn't been wanting to throw his name around, but he feels that it's time. And I think that the Dagger situation was rubbing me the wrong way. Just whether I felt that Dagger needed to be treated more as an NPC as opposed to a second character, second set of actions, four hands and everything. Seeking nothing against you, it's just how that was your background. But I think that it all came to a head properly this time in game, in character, and I think just because of everything just how the story that Patrick that you told to get us to this point, meeting these other dwarves, it was whether we all understood what was going on with Licklig, or because my character, I mean, even though he's a family friend, I don't know everything about this guy, and now he's got like this shiny dagger, which is pretty cool, and might be dwarven royalty as well. Not that I'm considered dwarven royalty. I mean, royalty at all, just by standing a family, I guess. But it all just came to a head, and now we've fully meshed together as a party to move forward. And that's why I was like, let's take the moment, let's forge this together with some binding to these dwarves, and let's make sure that it ties into the benefit of the Jarl that we're all trying to serve. And then here's a gift that's half of a set, the two halves of the same coin, whatever. Don't worry about stuff, do the document, whatever. That's all in-game stuff, but trying to foster those relations that I think that we're supposed to be doing. I'm going to say, Alpakka, you need to stop hiding in the shadows. You need to do something else. You need to come forward, because we have not seen you do a lot other than come up and kill a guy that was already dead.
Gotta stop being a cowardly rogue.
Or sorry, Nirnie, a cowardly dwarf.
So
I mean, I understand it's part of the character, but I mean, and again, we said we don't understand dwarves in this world, so maybe there are these dwarves that would rather tap a drum and all that stuff and tell stories.
He's definitely a coward, and that's the thing. He is afraid of fighting because he's afraid of dying, and so he knows that
more dwarf than you.
What do you say?
Licklig is more dwarf than you are at this point.
He's definitely more of an honorable dwarf, but he would
traditional.
More traditional. Greld sees himself as a storyteller, and he wants to know things and to be there when things happening.
Which you portrayed very nicely in your interaction with Valraven, and I gotta write this down. This is interesting. Drawing a diagram.
Quick question.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Quick question. Do the dwarves look at making great items as a way to earn their way into the afterlife? Because if they do, like they talk about in the tablets, maybe the reason the bard is such a raging coward is because he hasn't really put together any great works that would get him into Valhalla. He'd be sitting down at the bottom somewhere shining somebody else's shoes in the afterlife because he hasn't produced anything. Maybe that's your fear. Maybe once you write your saga of Beowulf or whatever, then you're going to be more or less likely to be afraid. I don't know, dude. I'm just wondering, is that the motivation of every dwarf, is to create their opus?
Their Edda, yeah.
Of course.
So when they go into the afterlife, they can present it to the great blacksmith and say, this is the best I could do. And he could go, you are worthy. Nope, you're going to pull the gum off the bottom of theater movie seats for the rest of eternity. So maybe he's afraid of picking up the gum off the bottom of theater seats for the rest of eternity. I don't know. But maybe he's looking for his opus. Once he gets his story, then people will say, oh, this is the story that he wrote. And then you become immortal through that way. Is that something that your character's worried about? Or do you like used gum? Because, you know, it's got extra flavor in it. I don't know.
As I see Greld, the thing that you're saying about that they use their crafts or items, that's definitely some of the things that I was thinking when I created a character. And the thing that he doesn't want to go away before he has created this thing. And he wanted to do this big thing, the story about, either it is about the human lives or the cultures or understanding everything like that, and put that down in a dwarven record that he can be known. He's afraid of dying and he's afraid of fighting, but he wants to do some difference.
So from your perspective, let's see if I can line this up. Every bard wants to be Homer, or like the Greek Homer who wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey. When people say this is so-and-so's, it's Homer. That they want to be able to throw your name in. So you're hoping that's your motivation, is to get the greatest story ever, get it down on paper, and then push it into the journals of Dwarven. Okay. Well, that's it. You're looking for your opus, your Homer, as it were. Okay, got it. Now I'm not going to want to pee on you every time you pee yourself.
Patrick?
Yeah?
I watched part of the first session for your other group 2.
Yeah.
And some of the character backgrounds and stuff that came up and that they mentioned, you may want to look at for letting us know, because I did notice the guy that was playing the scribe, and the fact that you were talking about the farm master Kalprenner being illiterate, and I went, well, you know, if he's illiterate, then actually my one level of literacy, reading and writing, becomes a lot more important than I thought.
Mm-hmm. Of course, because, I mean, first off, I mean, the two stories are based on the same, but I changed them to fit with the narrative that the characters are creating. But of course, I mean, it would make sense for him to not be illiterate, because he's just a farm master. Like, he's a master of a farm. He didn't go to study anywhere or do anything like that. You know, there was never any reason for him to know how to read and write. So, I mean,
right.
The fact that your character can read and write, might have some significance, of course.
Yeah, because I always thought he could read and write in my mind. You know, true medieval fashion is, no, he probably can't. And the background that I wrote for my character is that he learned reading and writing and math and Wildfolk, and was trying to work on Ronin, whatever the Midlander language was, because he wanted to help his father. And wanted to basically get his father's approval.
So, I mean, that makes sense then, right? What did Flynn want to say? Flynn had his hand up there.
Don't confuse being illiterate with not being able to count. Every shepherd knows how many sheep he has. He may not be able to read, but he can count. We've got 5 on this hand, 5 here. Take your shoes off. You're up to 21. And for half the population of the planet, if you drop your pants, you can get to 21. Right?
So calculate skill.
Come on. Don't take numbers and letters being the same thing.
Yeah,
No,
there's
they're
That
not,
makes sense.
but, yes, it does. But I was just saying
Yeah, okay.
that I have both of those skills, which at least from what I was reading, the calculate skill means that I can do higher than, counting to 10 on my hands.
10 on your feet plus your
Right,
claws.
right.
So,
If I
Oh.
right, then calculating means that you can do advanced math.
like multiplication and
Yeah,
division.
multiplication and such.
Advanced math.
right.
Yeah.
And pump that up and you'll be able to do calculus. Maybe.
Oh, at some point, yes, possibly. I just figured the
Cool.
character.
All right, guys,
A
I gotta go
squared
there.
plus B squared equals C squared.
Yeah, I just figured this particular character, Vestine, would take a long time to actually write it out and figure it through and come up with the right
I'll
answer.
teach you.
All right, guys. So I love our little after talk here. It's great. I think we lost Brian just now. I guess he had to go for family day. But
Yeah, probably.
it was a lot of fun, guys. I really love this, and it's getting better and better for each session. Let's make sure.
I missed real quick. I missed the your point that you said on when experience points were coming out.
Oh yeah. So what I'm gonna do after each module or adventure, I'm gonna give you experience points. So
Okay.
after you're done with this whole thing with Sola and the trolls, and I guess when you come back to Bearfield with or without her or whatever happens, you're gonna get experience points.
Oh, just as an aside, Patrick, I did figure out what I wanted to do with Ogda. I am going to train her as a guard, and I'm also going to train her for hunting. Since the chicken has very good eyesight, and I don't.
Right. Cool. So let's leave it at that for now. Huh? We can talk more in Discord, and like always, guys that are watching as well, if you want to join us, talk about this kind of stuff, just click on the Discord link down below, and please introduce yourself. There's a new members channel, and there's a lot of people coming in there every day. Like there's at least 2 or 3 people coming in there every day, but most of them don't say anything and don't really know who they are. So please at least tell us why you're there, so I can give you the proper roles in the server, so you can access the actual Trudvang chat and the voice channels and stuff, where we talk and sit.
Yeah.
And other
Am
than
I
that,
supporting you on adding people into?
yeah, but they need to tell us who they are. We can't just give them roles randomly. So that would be great. Welcome there, and also please follow us. And I'm gonna put up some events for next week, so you can get a reminder if you follow that. And there's links to the world that we're using down below that I'm filling in as we speak in the world anvil. We have if you want to support us, you can tip us down below as well. There's actually both a PayPal link and also if you're from Sweden, there's a Swish QR code now, so you can help us if you want. And yeah, that's all, I guess. Good session, guys. Nice to see you again.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my god.